Inner child. Who is the inner child? What it is? How do we heal it? Hi everybody, I'm Roubina Khodadin, artist, healer and spiritual guide. Regarding my artwork, specifically paintings, please join me on Instagram. You can type Roubina Khodadin or you can click the link in the description box below. This inner child is a concept that's been coined probably by Jung, to mention that there is a part of us that kind of gets reactivated us as an adult. So it goes to say that sometimes we have reactions which are not necessarily adult reactions but more childlike reactions, because certain events bring us back to some wounds, maybe from childhood, but not necessarily from childhood, but it could be ones from our adult life, but the reaction is a bit like a childlike reaction. So we think that we need to heal the inner child. The point is that regardless whether you think about it as the inner child or the wounded self, it doesn't really matter the word that we use. Words are there to help us get a better understanding, and for some people maybe the word inner child helps them better to understand what needs to be healed. But regardless, the healing process is the same, whether we are dealing with an event that is bringing us to childhood, or whether it is bringing us to some past adult relationship, like a relationship us as adult. The healing thing is the same, because usually a child has got usually very basic needs, right? A child has got the need to be nourished, physical nourishment, i.e. food, but also affection, love. A child has got the need to be heard. That's why some children throw tantrums, because they really have to express themselves. And then the child has a need to be protected. That's why some children, maybe they feel totally at ease in certain environments because they don't feel protected. They wouldn't be able to say those words, but we as adults, we use those words. So basically, the three needs as children are also needs that we have as adults, isn't it? We all need to eat, we all need to be loved, we all need to feel some sort of security, whether it's coming from somebody else or from the environment, but we need to feel secure within ourselves, and we also need to be heard. So whether it's inner child or me as an adult, it comes down pretty much to the same thing. So the point is that as you go through your everyday life, if you have if you take time in your everyday life to listen to yourself. Listen is not analyzing. Let's go back to the child as childlike thing. Children, when you want to listen to them, it's not so much that they're going to make a whole speech about how they feel and what was in their past life or whatever. I mean, some children might, but generally little children won't do that. They'll just need to cry, they'll need to shout, they'll need to express themselves. And we as adults, we tend to rationalize things straight away, and we tend to want to explain things straight away. But before the explanation comes the basic child need, which is expressing the emotion. So make sure you express and feel your emotions every day. Simple practice every day. Hands on the heart space, on the belly. Why the belly? Because it is said that this is where the inner child kind of sits. This is where you can feel the grumpiness of the inner child. This is where you can feel the joy. This is where you can feel the pain. So putting one hand here and one hand there will help us be more connected to ourselves, and hence to the needs of the child. So if that is easier for you to think, connecting to myself or connecting to the inner child, whichever is easier, it doesn't really matter. So the point is having every day a time to put our hands here. Breathe in and breathe out, and seeing really what's happening inside me. And as you're feeling what's happening inside you, your inner child is feeling heard. If you feel angry, if you feel sad, if you feel like you can't grasp anything, if you feel disgusted, if you feel anything, you're allowed to feel that. And this is the point, is that the healing of the inner child is about having the right to feel how we feel. What will differ is how we react. A child will react maybe in a tantrum or just throw themselves out in the street. But as adults, we don't do that usually. So this is why it's important to also process our emotions every day, to move, to do sports, to dance, to sing, to write, to be creative, to do whatever else that helps us express our emotions. I'll also put the link about how to process your emotions if you want a very detailed and efficient way to process your emotions properly. I'll put the link I'll put the link at the end of the video about how to process the emotions. So taking time every day to feel heard. Also, as we're putting the hands, we also feel a sense of protection, a sense of love, because as a child, love comes through touch. It's just like, you know, when people tell you, I love you, if they just say, I love you, it doesn't have as much as an effect as if they look at you in the eyes and they say, I love you. That's so much more effective. And if they touch you, it's even more effective. So having the hands here also help in this healing from, let's say, the lack of affection that we might have had in the past. Last is, I talked about protection. Feeling protected, if we are lucky enough to have people in our lives that make us feel protected, whether it's partner, whether it's family, friends, where we feel secure, amazing. So do take the advantage of having those people in your life. But if it's not the case, as often is for people who've got inner child wounds linked with being the feeling of feeling secure, then we need to find that other places. And what is this other place? Unfortunately, there aren't 100 million of other places. It will be in a space which is beyond our physical self, whether you call it, whether you want to say, I want to be in nature where I feel a sense of protection, whether I want to maybe connect to whatever you believe in, to the sun, whether you want to call it to connect to divinity or God, that's up to you. But definitely working on our spiritual self and starting a spiritual journey is one great way to start feeling protected, and hence giving this protection to the inner child. You don't even have to say it to the inner child, you don't have to talk to the inner child, but just having this feeling. And I can assure you, putting your hands on the belly and on the heart is like an amazing source of reception to whatever else is beyond us. So do try this. Let me know in the comments, do you think you've got inner child wounds? Please let me know that. Like the video. If you need help, the link is in the description box how to get in touch with me. But for now, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so we can meet again. And yeah, wishing you the best, and have a good day or good evening. Bye bye.